The alarm clock didn't ring. It never did anymore. It was the sound of the front door closing that woke Leo, and it was a mournful, shuffling sound that usually occurred at 6:45 a.m. He sat up, wincing at the knot in his lower back. He grabbed his glasses from the nightstand, pushed aside the stack of bills, and looked at the empty side of the bed. It had been empty for 4 years, since Maya's mother left. He had learned to stop counting the days she was gone and started counting the miles she lived between them and the life Leo had painstakingly built. Walking into Maya's room, he found her just drifting off. She was 7 now, old enough to know that a single bed meant sharing, and small enough to still fit comfortably against his chest. She was clutching her favorite Raggedy Rabbit, her thumb just poking out of her mouth. Leo froze. His thumb was there, too. He pulled it away gently and kissed her forehead. He slipped out of the room and started the coffee. He set 2 mugs on the counter, but as the machine hissed and gurgled, his eyes fell to the dust bunnies under the kitchen table. He had promised to clean the garage last weekend, and he hadn't started. He had promised to fix the squeaky hinge on the pantry door, and he had forgotten. A hot, heavy guilt sat in his stomach. It was a familiar feeling. Tasted like burnt toast. "Ready, Dad?" Leo jumped. Maya was standing in the doorway in her school uniform. She didn't look like the little girl who used to need him for everything. She tied her own hair in a chaotic knot. She packed her own lunch. She didn't need him to button her coat anymore, except for the top button, which she reached for with a determined, stubborn stretch. "Yes," Leo said, his voice raspy. He forced a smile that felt foreign on his tired face. "Let's go." The school run was a blur of traffic and silence. Leo couldn't talk to Maya much. She was in her own world, humming a tune he didn't recognize. When he parked the car and walked her to the playground, he lingered. He saw the other dads, some couples, some single moms. They talked and laughed. Leo shifted his weight, feeling the scratchy wool of his coat. He felt like a pirate, or a draft dodger. He felt exposed, like he had forgotten to put on his armor. Maya looked at him, then at the swing. "Are you coming?" she asked. "I'm just watching," he said. "I have work." She nodded, not offended, not even sad. She just hopped onto the swing and pushed off. Leo watched her arc against the gray sky. He pulled out his phone, intending to check the stock market, but he couldn't focus on numbers. He was watching her. He realized she was doing this without a partner, without a safety net. She was learning to find her own momentum. When she came back to the car, she climbed in and immediately handed him a small, crumpled drawing. It was yellow paper, taped together with masking tape, and covered in red crayon. It was a stick figure with an oval for a head, a square body, and 2 sticks for legs. "What's this?" Leo asked softly. "It's us," she said. "You're big, and I'm little, but you're holding my hand." She drew a stick figure arm wrapping around the square body. Leo felt the air leave his lungs. He traced the shaky lines of the crayon. He looked at the picture, and then he looked at his daughter. He saw his tired eyes, his gray hair, his old coat. He saw everything he didn't think he was. He saw that he wasn't failing. He saw that he was succeeding. "I love it, Maya," he whispered. "Yeah, but," he choked on the word. "I tried to buy you a real doll for your birthday on Friday. I got laid off last week. I don't know how to tell you yet." Maya's face went serious. She unclipped her seatbelt and moved into the passenger seat, leaning across the console. She reached up and pressed her hand against his cheek. "That's okay, Dad," she said. "Real dolls are loud and break. You're just the right size. I like your hands. They're warm. And you're funny when you tell jokes about the mailman." She slid back into her seat. "And tomorrow?" she asked. "Will you help me with my buckle?" Leo laughed, and it was a real sound, bone deep and grateful. He leaned over and buckled her seatbelt for her, his thumb brushing her cheek as he tightened the strap. "Tomorrow, I'll fix the pantry door," Leo said, "and I'll clean the garage." "That's a deal," Maya said, taking his hand. Leo gripped her fingers until his knuckles turned white. He looked in the rearview mirror at his tired face, and for the first time in a long time, the reflection didn't scare him. He was a single dad. He was tired. He was broke. But he was hers. And in the way a small hand can anchor a drifting ship, Leo knew he would steer them through anything.